Hello, my name is Damian Kelsey, and welcome to my audio memoir, My Life on Wheels, What It Is Like to Live with Cerebral Palsy. I hope you guys will enjoy this first chapter, and I hope that I will give you some inspiration with my life story. And because this is on many social media sites, please let me know what you think, and please, if I do inspire you in any other form of ways, please let other people know about this also. I'd really appreciate it. But without further ado, let's get into Chapter 1. Chapter 1. A Stacked Deck. Many people talk about birds and how they are all exciting, and you came into this world so lively, nothing went wrong, everything was as it should have been. But on August 16th, 1991, my entry into this world was not what you call ideal. I was born 3 months premature and barely 2 pounds. And because of that, my body paid the price. Because I was premature, I suffered a brain bleed on my brain, where I suffered damage, which then in turn gave me the disability known as cerebral palsy, more specifically, quadriplegic infantile spastic cerebral palsy. So that means I'm spastic in certain instances, like loud noises. I can't really do physical things that well, fine motor skills, all those things people do. Walking, cooking can sometimes be hard without the proper adaptive equipment, all sorts of things. All the things that many people take for granted, I can't do, or I had never done. But it was a very scary entry into this world for me, because when I was born, I died once, and I was resuscitated. I died again, I was resuscitated. I died again, and I was resuscitated. I was resuscitated 3 times. So you could technically say I've had a brush with death 3 times in my life, and you call me lucky. But usually I just say once, because I died once flat out, and then they resuscitated me. But to be resuscitated twice, that's just something I'm very thankful for. You see, when I was born, they didn't really have a good prognosis for people in my condition. Because people in my condition were either put in rest homes, care homes, institutions, or they were just given to whoever wanted them, because the stress of a disability is very challenging on many people. I know it's been very challenging on my mother for many years, and I am just thankful that she never gave up on me, that she never said, oh, I'm just going to give them away. She believed in me that I could do greater things, and she disbelieved everything that the doctors said that I wouldn't be able to do. For instance, they told my mother when I was born that I wouldn't do very much. I'd probably be a vegetable, not even able to lift my head. And even if I had tried my hardest, I wouldn't be a very productive member in society. Hell, I wouldn't even be talking to you right now. That's how serious they were, and I wish I was kidding, but I'm not. They really didn't have any faith in me. They really thought the most bleak and very pessimistic outlook on life. But my mom never gave up on me. She said, I'm going to give my son the best life I know how, even if it takes me all my lifetime to do that. I'm ever thankful for that. And for my early years, all that I was trying to prove is that I deserved a shot, that I deserved to be normal, so forth and so on. I don't really like that word normal, because everybody has their own definition of what's normal. For example, my definition of normal is sitting in a chair 18 hours a day, exercising my brain, doing what I think is fun. For others it's going shopping, others it's fishing, others it's hunting a deer, others it's playing video games. And I do some of what I've just mentioned, minus the hunting and the fishing, since it's a physical task. It's kind of difficult, but I'm just like you, and you're just like me. We all got pieces of each other somewhere in us. We're all the same in one itty bitty way or another. But For the first few years of my life, all my test was to see if I had a shot in this world. And they had some weird things that they tried to do to prove so. When I was a toddler, I was told I was given an IQ test. Now, this IQ test is not like the many different IQ tests we have nowadays. I mean, this was like your standard, basic IQ test. And they said, your son's borderline retarded because, he can't do all these physical tasks and he can only do some of these mental tasks. But then again, I was a toddler, so of course, my brain's still developing like any other toddler would be at that age. And this man, I don't know this man's name, and if I ever did, I'd probably go up to him and say, "Ha, I proved you wrong, son of a bitch." But I think what, people didn't understand was that you couldn't judge a book by its cover. I mean, this is 1991 we're talking about, and this man thought I was borderline retarded and wasn't going to do anything in this world, and it was hopeless. But my mom and my father didn't give up on me, and I'm glad for that. And I'm glad they spent my toddler years proving doctors wrong, saying he has something special in him. And it wasn't until I was about 3 years old that I went to this school called Glen Paul School. It was there I met a woman that would ever change my life, Diane Preston. She was the very first teacher that really believed in me and really knew that I wasn't going to be a vegetable. And if it wasn't for her, that I'd probably still be sitting at home, probably not being as verbal as you think I would be. But because of her, I started to learn schooling when I was 3 years old. I remember vividly going into her room, having circle time, where all the kids sat in a circle. There was a theme song. I used to know the theme song by heart, but nowadays it's a bit different. I'm a bit older, and I did go back when I was in 8th grade, but I used to know the song very well. I mean, we had food, we learned things, we played with blocks. I mean, computers and all these things you hear about now, we didn't have those. It was real human interaction. And these are where I met some of the greatest people I know. Diane really tried to instill that I was one of the many kids that had a shot in this world. That we didn't need to be labeled, put in a nice little group with a fence, and you didn't have no boundaries. The sky was the limit, and I've always believed that. And it was because of her, with my parents, that I've never stopped believing that. Those years I spent at Glen Paul School, in circle time, in, my formative years, from 1 to 3. I know it's technically 1 to 5, but that's a whole nother chapter. Those 3 years I spent proving people that I wasn't dumb. That was just the beginning. Because I'm a very complex person. I'm a very logical, methodical person. And these 3 years, were just the building blocks. I can remember vividly, I hated going on the bus. I didn't want to leave my father or my mother. And I remember just not wanting to go. I remember crying. I don't remember if I could talk that well back then. But I just remember crying. But there was this one bus driver, picked me up one day. Her name was Linda Wilson. She was the best bus driver anybody could ask for. I remember vividly what she would play on the radio. It wasn't no hip-hop, Tupac, or Biggie Smalls. It was more like oldies, like, Elvis Presley, Ray Charles, Temptations, the Beatles, you name it. If it was an oldie, it was probably playing. And it was like that for many years when I rode the bus K through 12. And I will go into that more, but it was just, that's where I get a lot of my classic taste from. Besides my parents, Linda, she's one of the greatest people I've ever met, and she really helped me develop as a person. and she helped me get over the fear of riding the bus, which, it's kind of crazy, but that's how it goes, Nobody wants to leave their family when that's all you've been doing for the first 3 years of your life in the same place, same routine, same thing every day, and someone's like, okay, now you gotta do this. Of course, you're gonna rebel and say, F that, I'm doing whatever the hell I want to do. And so I just remember crying, and she just made it easier as time went on. We're going to school, but I could just remember very, very in detail, like, I hated, like, going on the bus, because home and family is, like, the one thing that you're going to find out in this book that I am very passionate about. And my friends fall into that category too, and people I really care about. But, that's what really drives me, what really keeps me alive. But because of her, I got over my fear, and I actually started to like school. I didn't stay in Glen Paul that long. In fact, I only think I stayed about a max of 2 years. And then I went to a different school. I went to Redwood School. And that's where the real journey begins. But it was because of Diane Preston and my mother's will and my father's will to not take whatever the doctors said for an answer, to give me the best life possible. It's because of that I am here doing what I'm doing today, talking to you about my life. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this chapter. It's going to be on many video sharing sites, going to be on many social networking sites. So please feel free to leave a comment. Let me know what you think. If you want me to talk about more things in detail, retaining to my first 3 years in my life, if you want to know more about my disability, but I do have a plan for that. I think that's going to be like a sub-chapter, I'm not sure. But I do, guys, hope you enjoy this first chapter. I know I just messed up there, but, this thing's been going on for a while. Gotta keep it big for the first chapter. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to hear from you soon, and I can't wait to do another chapter. So I'll talk to you later. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.